Welcome to Reality Hour. I'm Adam Samuel. Today, I'm coming at you from a different location to talk about American Idol, the final episode of auditions, and also the first week of Hollywood Week. This is a very packed episode, so we're going to try to get to as much of it as we can. Joining me for this podcast is my co-host Eric. How you doing today, Eric?
I don't even think that deserves an answer. No one's doing well right now. The world's coming to an end. American Idol might be coming to an end for a while. This really effing sucks. But we're gonna try to keep doing the podcast as long as there's shows to do it about. I might come up with some bonus episodes or something in case this Idol stops or something. But
this stopped being funny very quickly. It went from like being a light joke to now very serious. And it's kind of really terrifying to kind of see the effects of what's kind of been going on. This one of the scariest things, though, Eric, is we are going to run out of American Idol episodes to recap because the show's been put on hold.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas that we'll talk about later, maybe doing to fill the time, but we'll see.
It's really scary. The weird thing that I was hearing though is that the show they've stopped production. Everyone has been sent home, the contestants. But my thought was, why were the contest at the end of this? I'm assuming we're going to be left at the top 20-ish stage.
Yeah.
So why would the top 20 already be assembled? Usually they don't assemble it until what?
Rehearsals.
This early? They don't usually do it. They usually there's usually all those tweets where they, I don't know. But yeah, it's just weird to see like things are just shutting down. Like it's almost, I don't even know what to say. It's just a very strange situation all around. I hope it can be better soon. I don't like it this way.
All of our viewers are safe and not feeling well, and etc.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And we're still here. We will be here as long as
we come up with things to talk about.
I was actually gonna bring this up to Eric in the pre-show, but like maybe we could do some in-between podcasts to kind of fill in the gap a little bit. Maybe we'll come up with some fun games or fun things. I mean, Reality Hour is a weekly podcast, so we will, as long as Eric is still up to do it, I'm still up to keep this going. We might run dry of ideas at some point for kind of fun podcast ideas.
I hope we don't, because I have a couple. So anyway,
I have an idea for the worst Howie Mandel moments of all time.
You know what? Honestly, if that's gonna be one we really run out of ideas, we'll get there.
All right, but that all said, we do still have 2 episodes to talk about today. It was the first time of the season where American Idol is going back to back, and I gotta say, I love this show, but this was a lot to watch. I watched both episodes back to back yesterday over lounging on my couch. Kind of, I went right through it. It was a lot. There's some good, some bad. Eric, what was kind of your overall impressions of these 2 episodes?
The first audition episode I kind of went through a little bit faster. I don't even want to talk about it too much. I will just say that my favorite of the episode was Rob, the first audition of the night.
We should go back and forth. We'll save that. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, in the first round of Hollywood Week, just why this season has to be cut short and probably screwed over. Because this season the cast this season already wipes the floor with last season and possibly the season before that. So...
All right. Well, here's what we are going to do for this podcast. Since the audition episode it's in the past already, so we will kind of go through it a bit quicker and kind of spend the meat of this podcast kind of discussing Hollywood Week. So here's how Eric and I discussed that we are going to do this. We're going to go back and forth our top 3 favorite auditions of week 5. So Eric, I'll throw it to you. Who is in your top 3? Are we doing this in no particular order or in an order?
I'm just gonna go for. I'm just gonna honestly. I don't even have that many notes for this episode.
All
So what
right.
I want to do, I just want to name check my three.
Okay, go ahead.
Um, I think Rob Taylor is my favorite of the episode. Terrible story. Liked his voice a lot. He's the only one of the episode I said I could actually see myself rooting for. Um, Other than him, um, Michaela Brownlee was not my thing, but I kind of like her and she's got potential. Um, Demi Ray, not perfect, kind of like her.
I didn't really like Tammy Ray. I mean, her voice was really good, but the look was kind of throwing me off a little bit. I mean, it was a little strange.
Elena Jester didn't blow me away, which sucks because the song has the potential to blow me away. Nice, nothing special. Basically, a lot of them were just good but not spectacular. So
You know, you say that, and I would agree for the most part. I think the two real standout names from this episode is Rob, as you mentioned. He was in my top three also. And one of the other big names is Grace Lear, who I thought was really good. She was actually on American Juniors, which
I remember that show existed, but I never watched it. Honestly, she's not my thing, but she's not bad. So
I also did enjoy Franklin Bone or Boone, I think was his
I
name.
really did not
Boone.
like that one.
I thought he was all right. I mean,
I,
he was
I was watching. There were a couple auditions that I watched with my cousin, and I was sitting next to him, and he basically was like, "I'm falling asleep watching this one." So
I thought it was all right. I don't think it was
summed it up for
that
me.
bad.
Oh, Razzo, I liked. I like Razzo.
Those were kind of, I guess Raza was all right, but that's kind of like
Yeah.
talent could have been better. I thought Rob and Grace really, honestly, are the two takeaways for me here, and that's kind of where I mean there were some weird moments. Like there's this weird shirtless dude, just kind of who jumps up, who appears in front of the judges, and then he started singing. And then there was this girl, I think her name was Megan Knight, that they make audition on a boat. Which, first of all, wait, was it Megan Knight? It was, yeah, it was Megan Knight. They make her audition on the boat, and I just wrote that they said, "Oh, this is our first boat auditioner," and I was like, "False." There was an entire episode of American Idol season 12. All of the auditions were on a boat. They had that.
There are a lot of people want to forget season 12 happened. I don't. I love Candace, but everyone else.
Touche, touche. Um, season 12, like, it's one of those
Once
seasons.
we got to the top 5, that was a great season, but all the guys were just bad.
Let's not talk
Anyway,
about it.
I'm ready
Anyway,
to Hollywood Week. Are you?
one last note from the auditioners before we move on to Hollywood Week. What'd you make of the last audition of the season, Amber Fielder? What'd you make of her?
I wrote the same thing for so many of the editions, and I wrote it for her. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah, I wrote that she was good. The sob story was just, I don't know. I don't know why that the story is one thing. I don't know why it feels a little exploitative here. Like that they're taking this woman, and it leaves me with a little bit of an icky feeling when the show's kind of getting, you know what I mean, a little
Yeah.
bit, where I'm like, why do you, like, I get that happened to you, I get it, but why does it need to be a part of like the American Idol show? Like why can't I feel like such a, I just want it to be about The Voice, which is so
Me
weird
too.
because
Which is a different show,
yeah,
but I
one we
would
shall not talk
I
about.
would be about The Voice without all the stupid gimmicks of The Voice.
All right, well, let's move on to Hollywood Week. So at this point, we will be doing a bit of a deep dive kind of into the auditioners. Overall, though, what did you enjoyed this episode? You said, right, Eric?
The contestants I really enjoyed. The judges I still hate. Um, and the format of the genre challenge thing, I'm not sure I like it. I kind of liked it back when the show pushed people out of their comfort zones and required versatility of some kind of artists. And to just say, hey, you can pick the genre you think you fit in and stick with it the whole way through, I don't really like that. And I know it's been that way since Scotty, basically, but still.
For me, I'm like an old man. I don't like change. Like I like everything to be the same way, and whenever I see something different, I'm like, no, no, we're not doing it that way. But the change, first of all, the change itself was strange. I get it's just they want something new to say, look, we're doing something new. But also some of the decisions the contestants made were off. Like I was watching this going, why are you in this category? Like you don't like it
There's
just
one in
feels
particular that I felt that way for, but the rest I wasn't really.
it feels weird to kind of box contestants in. I like the old rounds of 10, like lines of 10. Like it was fine. Like don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like you know what, you know the saying.
Yeah.
And I almost kind of wished that there was like one category that was like none of the above. Like it was just maybe you're not gonna just settle your horse on one of them. Maybe you're gonna do something of H. I don't
I
know.
wish there weren't categories at all, but otherwise, yes, none of the above category would be nice.
Do we have any news on what's gonna happen instead of group rounds? I know that's being changed also.
I think it's duets of some kind, but I don't know.
All right. Well, so like I said, we have the contestants. They get broken up into lines of 10. So the first category we get our real look at is singer-songwriters. We have in this lineup, we have Julia Gargano, Marna Michelle, Arthur Gunn, and yeah, that feels very small for like our contestants were being spotlighted. Very few. And we also didn't get to see Amelia, by the way, who is in my top two auditioners of the season, and I know we're never going to see her again, and that makes me really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we had our three contestants. What did you make of this batch, Eric?
Well, at least Mara's no longer inspiration porn. That's the good news, I guess.
That's harsh.
It's not her fault. I mean, I'm not her, it's not the judges. I mean, the producers. I mean, they can't split her anymore. That's good news, I guess. Honestly, it wasn't terrible, but I didn't think it was particularly great either. Julia, I really like her, and I think it was a fantastic song choice. And Arthur, I think Arthur could go all the way.
Yeah, I wrote down, I think Arthur's going to win. Like, I know this is super early, but if he makes top 20 and they get to vote for him, I mean, this dude, he is a Philip Phillips clone. Like, there is.
Yes, very much so. I don't care. I love his voice.
For me, like on paper, Julia is kind of the contestant that would be my favorite. I'm not as drawn as I was during the auditioner, kind of because this episode had my actual favorite contestant of the season, and like when she was on, like I can only have one favorite piano girl season, honestly, is what I'm saying. And Julia, she's great, but she's not my actual favorite. But she's good. She's solid. But I think the real standout here is Arthur. His performance hard to handle. It's funny. Every time I hear this song, I always think of one performance on America's Got Talent.
Courtney?
From what?
Courtney?
Yeah. He started singing the bars, and I started having flashbacks.
Uh-huh. By the way, Philip did sing the song, so.
When did he sing it? I remember he did, but when?
On one of the rounds on American Idol. So.
Maybe it was on The Voice. I'm making a joke.
But
look, what? What?
I don't really find that one funny.
No. Anyway, so Arthur Gunn. Yeah, that's so of these three, we lose Marna. It's funny because I thought Marna was fine. Like she wasn't
fine, but.
But what?
But after seeing how the producers handle her, I'm kind of glad that I don't have to deal with it anymore. I have enough things making me sad in this world. I don't need American Idol to be one of them.
Hey, I wouldn't have cut her here. I would have sent them all through. I thought they were all
I
fine.
would have as well, but I'm looking on the right side. All
right, so singer-songwriter is usually like my favorite category. We got three people spotlighted on it. Ugh, I wanted more. Anyway, we move on to pop. So in this lineup, we have Louis Knight, Genevieve Linkowski, Robert Taylor. And yeah, that's kind of three. Are those the three highlighted here?
I think there are more, but
I think they separated it into two lines, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. I would just rather I'm gonna edit this part out. We should just go through like all the contestants.
Oh, you want to just go through each one?
Yeah.
All right. So first up, we have Louis Knight. He is performing. What is he performing? Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which is a bit of a strange song choice. I mean, a lot of contestants sang it this episode, which you wouldn't think they would, but they did. So, what did you make of this one, Eric?
I liked how Katy Perry name checked X Factor, first good moment of her this season. My thing is he's good, but not spectacular. And after hearing some of the girls later in this episode, I don't get the hype around him.
All right. I'm going to throw this out. You can immediately call me wrong once I say it. Arthur Gunn, Philip Phillips, Louis Knight, Colton Dixon. What does that mean?
That means if a guy has to win, I hope it's not Louis Knight.
I'm torn between two people being the Colton Dixon. It's either Louis Knight or Johnny, who we'll talk about later. I think it's going to be one of those two. I think those three guys, they're the ones to keep an eye on at this point so far. Okay. Who knows what will actually happen?
Say, even if Arthur wins, won't be deserved out of this cast. But anyway.
All right. Well, next up, Genevieve Linkowski, who I am unashamed to say is my favorite of the season. She's performing "You Are the Reason" by, I know this and I'm so embarrassed. Who was it?
Callum Scott.
Callum Scott. At the piano. She's a returning contestant, and I continue to love this girl.
She's good. Another contestant sang the song better than her this season.
You shut your mouth, Eric. You got to be nice to Genevieve. Be nice to her. She's my favorite. I love her. I love the moment when it's her and Margie Mays. Like, I kind of want them to like band together. Like, I will always have my biases to piano players and returning contestants. Those two, if you are in those categories, you'll usually have my support in this season. And she is both, and she is kind of the perfect American Idol contestant that I like. She reminds me of Jax a little bit, but her look is straight up Christina Grimmie. Like, she looks so much like her, and I've watched some of her YouTube videos, and she even sings like her. Like, the show performances aren't
better, but still.
What?
Grimmie was way better, but
well, Christina was like so far up. Like, she's so good that's kind of to be close to Christina Grimmie is to be fantastic, is what I'm saying. Be nice to Genevieve, Eric. You gotta be nice.
Okay, I'll be nice while I can.
All right. So yeah, I'm enjoying her, thoroughly liking her. She gets an A+ for me. Favorite of the episode. We move on to Robert Taylor. He's performing "Natural Woman." What'd you make of this one, Eric?
He's got a fantastic voice, but he's doing too much with it. If he could pick a few moments to let loose rather than the entire song, I think he could be a real threat.
Yeah. I did find he talked a bit during his audition, his performance, right? Like beforehand or afterwards?
I don't remember.
It was one of him or someone else. If it is him, if it wasn't him, I apologize in advance. I don't like when contestants kind of come on stage and they give a spiel, like they're gonna like give a whole like just come on. It's Rosetta. Well, it's not Rosetta anymore. Just come on, sing, step back. This is what this round should be. Is to be what the audition should have been, where it is just you, it is just your voice. You know what I mean, Eric? Like, yeah. Auditions nowadays have been like, oh, we have piano accompaniment, we have the full story, the judges talk to them. What this round should be is it is just you sing for 10 seconds, you step back. That's it. And it should be just up to that. And I don't like when contestants kind of give a whole story and they make it a whole thing. I'm like, this is not the round. This is the round to show your talent. Mm-hmm. But I digress. He was good, solid, very strong vocal. A little bit too much though. You said that, right? Yeah, I was like,
too much of it.
The problem is when some contestants, when they have, like, they just have it. Like, they can do the vibrato, they can do like the vocals, everything. Sometimes they feel they want to show off too much, and less is more. That's my note for Rob. but still pretty good.
Yep.
So they all move forward along with Gina, who was not, we didn't hear her sing, but she was moving forward too. So I guess we kind of continue with the pop round because they didn't say otherwise. We have in this roundup, we have Kay, Janice, Bilal Avaz, Shannon Gibbons, Lauren Spencer Smith, and let's start with Kay. So in her audition, she was the one who was kind of taken out onto the streets and sang around. And this is what happens. Should have been cut in the auditions.
Okay. Agreed.
Co-signed. That's what you should just say. Bilal Avaz. First time we're seeing him this season. He's performing Stone Cold by Demi Lovato. I don't actually remember much of this audition, which I guess says it all.
I mean, his problem is he's got a nice falsetto, but he's far from the only guy who does this season, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the fact that I forgot him kind of...
Yeah, says it all. Anyway.
All right. Well, next up we have Shannon Gibbons, All I Want by Codaline. A bit of a weird song for Shannon. Like when, if I'm remembering correctly, her audition, she was like the very like Janis Joplin. Am I right? Yeah, like she was a very gravelly voice.
Yeah.
I think. Like almost like a... It's just a weird song choice. And that's why, because if I'm right and I am thinking about the right person, it's just such a switch, such a flip from what we're kind of used to that I liked it. I thought it was good. It wasn't my favorite, but it was solid. What did you think?
I like her tone a lot. That's all I think.
Yeah. Not much really to say. Some of these contestants, we kind of get through them really quickly. Lauren Spencer Smith performs Because of You by Kelly Clarkson. She's also a Canadian, which is this our first time we've ever had like a Canadian singer? Like,
I don't know. All I know is that the few seconds I heard of this were basically flawless. And the thing I like about it most is that unlike Madison last year, she seemed to have a real connection with what she was singing, so I think she could go really far.
It's funny. I felt the opposite. I thought her vocal was really good, but the emotions weren't there. Like this is one of those songs that it's raw emotion. It's like
I thought her emotion was there. Watch it again.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me, but this song is just dripping with emotion. Like you gotta get into it. Like you gotta go there. And I feel like maybe it's not a song for like a 16-year-old. Maybe it's kind of like a more...
Kelly wrote it when she was 16.
Really?
Basically.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, then I am wrong. I am very much able to be wrong. That's the beauty of our podcast. So we have the results, and everyone is moving forward except for Kay. Yep. All right. So we move on to the R&B category. So in our first lineup, we have Sanaya Elise, Michaela Phillips, Just Sam, and that's it. So starting with Sanaya performing All I Ask by Adele. I thoroughly remember this. Girls, I think she started the audition. She was the first episode in the audition, if I'm remembering. No?
No.
All right. Well. What did you make of her performance here?
She's really, really great. I don't think she's current enough to go all the way.
Yeah. The problem is, like, R&B as a category, I don't think we've ever, in recent memory, had an R&B winner. Candace. Maybe Candace was more pop, I would say.
Candace was R&B. Candace was R&B. And therefore, I'm going to put up Adam's Wrong again.
You should have an Adam's Wrong category, like counter in the bottom, like left of the screen, like right here.
I'm actually considering doing that now.
All right. Anyway, we move on to Michaela Phillips performing And I'm Telling You from Dreamgirls. First of all, why is she in this category? Like, this was a weird decision. This was one of those moments I'm like, why are you here? Like, you should go and pop. But what did you make of her here, Eric?
I want more connection from her now, but purely based on vocals, she's the best singer this year.
I will not take away from the fact that she is a phenomenal singer. I just don't feel it. Like she performs, it's like a robot. It's like here, like I can see it. Like there's no connection. Like she just like there's a singer I think we're going to talk about next who is just all emotion. Michaela needs that. Michaela needs like on like the grading scale of like vocal ability and emotion. Vocal ability, I give it an A. Emotion, I give it like a C. Like it's just so low. It's a pageanty is the word that I think of almost, where it's just someone say like there's no I don't she sings well, I don't feel anything. I can't get invested in that kind of a contestant.
We'll see what happens. I hope she can connect with a couple songs because she needs to. Because the problem is, all the girls are so amazing that without connection, she's doomed to fail.
Yeah, it's like to bring up America's Got Talent again. It's almost like Mara Justine, who is kind of you don't believe her. Like when she's singing these songs in these big emotional moments, you don't feel it. Like when I hear this song, I'm taken right to watching Jennifer Holliday perform it with Jessica Sanchez at the finale. Like that is singing. That is feeling it. And when you can't even just to go a little bit close to what they did, where it's you just throw yourself into it, I just can't get it. I can't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We move on to Just Sam performing Haters Ain't Gonna Lie by Arlissa. I've never heard this song before. Have you?
Never lie.
All right. So she is. I think she's a producer's favorite.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put an Adam is right counter next
I'm
to
over here. That should be the title. Adam is right. Adam is wrong. Yeah, they love her. Like I'm getting the vibe. Like they are the producers. Which is weird because I don't know if I'm feeling her that much. I think she's solid. Like I said, she is kind of the antithesis of Michaela, where her voice isn't as great, but she is just so emotional and so raw that if you take those two and you like mix them together, you would have like the perfect contestant. You know what I mean? All right. But the one weird thing though, like I said, I don't like this whole I like the lines of 10 because I don't like her. She comes out with this box for like that she plays on the train, which by the way, tangent time. This is nothing against Just Sam, but train singers are annoying. Like you're on the train, you've got your phone, like you're texting, and all of a sudden someone's clapping their hands, going, "All right, I'm gonna start singing," and they start singing, and and then they come up to you with the thing, and they're like, "Can I have some?" Like, you know what I mean? I'm not wrong. You know I'm not wrong. I've
third counter, though. Adam is a heartless bastard counter.
But I'm not wrong. Like I go to New York City often, and when I'm riding the subway, 3 times during my commute, there's like people just come in and they start breaking out into song, and I'm trying to send an email, and I'm like, am I being heartless? Am I?
Well, what does the counter say?
We're now gonna have 3 counters.
Yes, we are.
Well, what did you think of Just Sam though? Agree with me.
What?
Agree with me.
I don't agree with you. I'm not a heartless bastard. I'm like,
I'm not wrong. Train singers and subway singers are really annoying.
I will say she is totally connected with what she's singing, and I think she's got a nice voice. I think she's a real contender.
I don't know if I'd put contender, but producers' favorites, they don't win, but they can go.
I mean, she'll probably end up in 10th or 7th, knowing what I know. But
all right. So here's a question though. From last season of American Idol, who were the producers' favorites? Oh wait, that actually is an easy question.
That's way too easy of a question.
Yeah, that's a bad example.
I won last year in 2nd place.
Yeah. All right, the first season of American Idol on ABC. Who is the producer's favorite? Usually they don't win, is what I'm trying to say. Like, but they usually go far, but I don't think they ever win.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right. So we get the results. Also, really quickly, in that lineup, we have this guy, Travis. I'm pretty sure he was a returning contestant. No, hold on. I'm gonna Google this.
No,
You
you're
will
not.
find
You don't have time to Google it.
this. I think he was a returning contestant. I think he was on the episode with Jax. He like looked familiar.
Okay.
From season 14, that episode with Adam Lambert as a judge. I remember just about every contestant from that season, like the auditions, because it was just such a good season. And I'm telling you, Eric, I remember that dude. Like I looked, they said his name. I was like, you're familiar.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we move. Wait a minute. Do we go back to singer-songwriter?
Yeah, we do, I think.
No. So I guess it was more
We just
than
bounce around all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Let's just.
the rules are being made up as we go along.
Mhm.
So in this group we have Sophia Schuster, who was really good, Adam Curry, Francisco Martin, Johnny West, and Dylan James. So going back to the beginning, we have Sophia, 15 years old. This girl's really good. We only see like a glimpse of her, but
The 10 seconds I saw, I liked.
hashtag next. Is that it?
No, it's not next. It's just all I wrote is the 10 seconds I saw were really good.
Yeah, I really, really liked her. Adam Curry up next doing Somebody Else by 1975. I don't remember watching this. there were a lot of people.
It was good. It was not memorable, but it was good. Next.
All right. Francisco Martin performing Hold Back the River by James Bay. Yeah, perfect song choice for him. I think this is kind of the sort of artist his run is going to be. Like he's going to be in the like Mumford & Sons, kind of the Luminaires kind of avenue, which is a good avenue to be. I don't think there's anyone else taking it at this point. Like it's kind of in past seasons, like on season what?
Arthur Gunn was taking it.
Oh, I don't think so. No, he's more.
Sorta.
I don't know if I would agree with that. I think Francisco has it. But there are rare times on American Idol where we have one contestant per category. Like those contestants usually go far. Like the first season of American Idol on ABC, we had Cade Fainer. He is the only rock contestant in his category, and he got all the way to top 5. So if I'm right that Francisco is the only one kind of in that lane, maybe he could go far. Which, by the way, hold on. Did we not have a rock category this year?
I don't think we did.
There's no rock on this season.
I guess not.
I'm just realized. No one? I like rock. Gina Irene was rock. Kind of. No, Gina was. Nah.
Caleb was rock.
We don't talk about him. It's funny story, by the way. So, really quick, a tangent. So, since the coronavirus is going on, I was going through some old things, and I found my old first generation iPod. The thing is like this big. It has all the music I was listening to from season 14. So it has all like I went for a bike ride because it's like a ghost town outside. I was listening to like all like Jessica Muse and Alex Preston. Like
Season
all
13,
that.
by the way.
What?
That was season 13, by the way.
There's another Adam is rock.
Yeah.
But man, what a blast from the past. I mean, I like one of the songs came up. It was like Paris Ooh La La, and I was like, oh, remember when that girl sang it?
Janelle.
Who is her name?
Janelle Garcia. X Factor.
No, on American Idol, and Harry Connick Jr. like railed on her for a little.
Who cares about that one? I remember that song from X Factor.
Emily Pierce. I remember that name. All right.
Janelle Garcia. Anyway.
Moving on, Johnny West performing "Someone You Love" by Louis Capaldi. I really like this. What?
I wrote meh.
Did you hear? You said meh. I was like, I really like this. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I would actually maybe even put it in my top 3 of the episode.
Really?
Yeah, I would. I
Wow.
really enjoyed it. For me, so far, I mean, it's Genevieve, Johnny, and Arthur Gunn. Like those are my favorite 3 of this so far.
Ding.
You stop that, Eric. I can just see like the number's gonna be up to like 3,000 by the end of the episode. You're gonna do like some editing magic, and it's like in CinemaSins, like when they do the bonus round. They just
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it is continuing to trouble me that we are getting. I can see the stars being set, like the table has being set. It reminds me of like I said, the debate on SNL when Hillary Clinton was talking about, she was doing the debate. She says, on the first debate, I set the table. On the second debate, I prepared the meal. And now on the third debate, and she pulls out a fork and knife and starts like scraping them, I feast. And that is what I can see is going on. The table is being set. I know what's happening here with Johnny West and Margie Mays. I can see it coming, and I really don't like it.
Okay.
Because I really like them both, but I really like them both. That's the problem. Like, they're both really good.
You then.
Oh, God. We have Dylan James up next performing Vienna by Billy Joel. I didn't realize I didn't recognize the song until, like, the chorus. What'd you make of Dylan?
I like it, but again, nowhere near as good as the girls.
Yeah, his voice is a little bit limited. Like, it's very... I've said this before. It's in a lane, and it doesn't have much space to go out of. Like, it's a campfire voice.
Voice was very much in a lane, and he won.
Touche. Watch, we'll be talking in 2 months. Well, actually, we won't be talking in 2 months about the winner. American Idol winner, Dylan James. And it's not going to happen now because American Idol's good.
Anyway.
We move on. So we get the results. Everyone's safe. There was one moment. So I'm a really heartless person, as the counter at the bottom of the screen can tell you. So there's the judges kind of do some shtick with them. They like say, oh, you turn, he points to one contestant, can you turn to the person on the right and tell them they made it? And I was thinking, this is really terrible. I was thinking that they were going to say that to everyone, like, can you tell that, go turn to you, you're safe, you turn to you, you're safe. Oh, all right, you know what, you're all safe. And then they stop and go, except for you, and just point to one person. And be like, no. Everyone makes it but you. And they're like, aw.
Ding.
Is that bad too? Was that bad too?
Ding. Anyway, let's move on.
That would have been hysterical. It's like, it would have been like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So we move on. We're back to pop, I guess. We have Margie Mays performing The Voice Within by Christina Aguilera. I see it coming. I can see it. I know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked her, and I thought she was solid. And it's bumming me out because I know she is the Skylar Dixon.
Yep.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. But let's talk about Nick Marrico, who I actually have the most to say, I think, of any contestant of the episode. So he is performing I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. He's our other returning contestant. I'm going to throw this to you first, Eric. What did you think of Nick?
He's okay, but the problem is that he's only not even in the top 5 boys, and they gave him such a rough edit to start that there's no way he's our winner, or even in the top 10.
Yeah, I actually sent out a tweet on this. The way that I would describe Nick's portrayal on American Idol this season is passive aggressive. Like, no, listen to me, because he's a good singer and the show is just waiting for him to mess up. Like, they're portraying him in a positive light. He is doing everything. His voice is good, but they are just waiting. Like, the blocks are being set where he's like, they're doing good. He's doing good. But I'm telling you, Eric, the one thing he does, if the first thing he does wrong, it all comes crashing down. They are going to rail on this kid. It is going to be ugly. And that is why my advice to Nick, hopefully, whether they're focusing on him, so I'm hoping he makes it to the live shows, but if he does, what he needs to do is after he performs, he needs to like have Ryan Seacrest, when they offer them the mic, he needs to give a speech, like just apologizing for everything, because I think the train here can still be saved. but he needs to say like, look, I was an idiot. I acted stupidly. I apologize. He needs that kind of a moment where he can kind of get the producers and the audience's forgiveness, because right now they're setting him up to be a villain.
Yeah.
And like I said, passive aggressive is the way to describe it. He is just, they're portraying him in a good light because they don't have bad things to say about him. But once they do have bad things to say about him, it is going to be the forefront of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Otherwise, that's what I got for Nick. We move on to Kimmy Gabriella. I didn't really remember her that much, but what did you make of her?
Overdid the runs a bit, but she has a connection to the song and a great voice. I like her a lot.
Yeah, I wrote solid. I mean, I just have other favorites in the competition. Like, I don't
She's probably in my top 5.
really.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, we should do like a top 5. I already said my top 3, so we would top 5.
It's not easy.
All
I'll try
right.
to do a top 5.
All right. Well, so all those contestants who were focused on go right through. We move on to country. So we have Lauren Moschetti. Some of these names, I apologize. Lauren, we have Hannah Pestridge. Apologize. Grace Lear. Yeah. So first up, we have Lauren. I remember her audition. So she's performing Don't Make Your Brown Eyes Blue by Crystal Gale. I didn't think she was country, though, coming into it. I was kind of thinking she was more singer-songwriter, honestly.
Wasn't my thing, really.
For her performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, eh. The thing was, it was Hollywood Week, and there's just so many names, so she just kind of faded into the background. That's kind of what I got. Anyway, Hannah Pestridge, Over You by Miranda Lambert. So remember I was talking about that little iPod that I found? So I also had all of Cassidy Pope's performances from The Voice. And I was like, whoa, because it was like the same day I was listening to this song, bike riding. I was like, oh, I know this song. And I don't think she lived up to kind of the expectation I built in my head, because I just was listening to Cassidy. And Cassidy, all right, Eric is going to do his dinger again. Of all these shows I've watched and all the winners, Cassidy is my personal favorite of all of them. The singing shows. Just a personal preference, followed by Maddie Poppy. But yes, my personal favorite from these shows, the winners, Cassidy Pope. Yeah, I'm going to say that right now. What? What was that?
That was a ding.
Was it the dinger going off? That was a ding? All right. So yeah, because I have that built-up impression, it's a hard song to do at that point. So I thought it was all right. What about you?
Better than Lauren. Still not my thing, really.
Yeah. There's just kind of not much here. There's so many other contestants kind of focused on where she's like a middle tier at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's not terrible. She's inoffensive and just solid.
Yeah.
All right. We have Grace Lear, who in my opinion, is the standout of this category, just for me. Unchained Melody by Righteous Brothers. I liked it. What about you? I'm starting to regret that I said the Cassidy Pope line. I mean it, though. No. Her and Maddie, I think, are my top 2. Yeah, I said it, Eric. I damn said it. All right, we move on to Soul. So we have Amber Fielder, Sophia Wackerman, Jovan Webb, Doug Kicker? I'm sorry. We go back to Amber. What did you think of her performance, Eric?
Great voice, nailed the song. Her only problem is that she has a lot of competition.
Yeah, solid vocal. I don't like the consistent emphasis on the story. It's just it feels icky. Like it feels like I felt it for some contestants in the past, but this one particularly, I was just like, I'm not really feeling this too much. But vocally, she's solid. like nothing bad. She's good, but not my favorite. Next, we have Sophia Wackerman performing "Let It Be" by the Beatles. I really like this girl. I think maybe even my top 5, honestly. She is pretty damn good. What about you?
I wish I could have heard the song without her talking over it, but that's the editor's fault and not Sophia's. She's another contender. I think her issue is that, again, she's not alone. There's a lot of contenders this year.
Yeah, I also love the scene with when Katy Perry was trying to convince her to change her name to her mother's maiden name, I think, or something, was Star. So Katy was saying you should go by Sophia Star. I love that scene where she just says, "Nah, I'm gonna stick with Wackerman." I was like, I love this girl.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. And she plays piano. She's solid. She would be in my top 3, except I already have that top 3 kind of filled, and no one's getting anywhere near Genevieve. So I would put her in like a solid 4.
Okay. We'll see if she bumps up into your top 3 soon.
All right. Well, we have Jovan Webb performing "Make It Rain" by Ed Sheeran. I also really like this dude, and he might round out my top 5, honestly. Like, it's really good. Like, I don't usually kind of root for these kind of contestants, but it's so good, and I love it, and I really enjoy it. What about you?
Ding, Adam is right, counter. He's my favorite male singer this year, honestly. He is. And the thing is, he's like 5th place for me out of all contestants. That's how unbalanced it is this year. But he is in my top 5. He is a really good singer.
The thing is with Jovan is they are hiding him. Like, we're not seeing him that much, which I think if he gets to the live shows, he's one of those contestants that I could see having like a breakout performance, because he's so under the radar now that once that we transition, if he makes it to the top 20, which,
well, everyone's gonna be under the radar after we're off for 2 months, but
well, I guess you know it's actually maybe even a point we're talking about where this could tarnish the edits. Like, people are people still gonna remember Arthur Gunn in August, like, from just these few episodes?
What they're clearly gonna do is they're gonna if they're smart, they'll re-air everyone from a top 20 their auditions.
Yeah,
an eclipse show type thing, and then they'll do to remind everybody.
But it's funny because Jovan, he's in the soul category. I don't think he's a soul artist. I think he's blues, honestly.
Yeah.
Which but there's just not enough contestants. I don't usually like blues contestants, but I love this. I really like Jovan. I think he's gonna go far.
I hope so. See. He's really
All
good.
Right. Next up, we have Doug Kicker. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Was that like the 3rd one this episode?
I don't know. All I know is the garbage man, and he got cut. That's all I care about.
It's also crazy. His audition went viral. When they said that, I was like, okay, he went viral. But I went on YouTube, and he's like in the top 10 most viewed performances of American Idol, over Jessica Sanchez and Jennifer Holliday.
The world is wrong, counter.
Wait.
We're having a 4th counter just for this.
Okay, let's see if I'm going to find this really quickly. But what did you think of him, though?
I mean, not mad they sent him home.
Yeah, he's right above Jessica and Jennifer Holliday. He also beat Alejandro Aranda doing but only one of his performances.
Well, that's fine.
He beat Katie Turner's audition.
Boo.
Jessica Sanchez doing Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
Portia, Renee, and Fantasia's in the top, like, 10?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway.
Oh, and Angie Miller is also there.
That's fine.
But yeah, that's kind of our audition. So I guess I kind of jumped the gun by saying my top 5, which I will say again. Number 1, Genevieve. Number 2, Arthur Gunn / Johnny West. Then Sophia Wackerman, Jovan. There you go. There's my top 5.
Incorrect. My top 5 is here's the hard part, prioritizing them. I'm gonna say Lauren Spencer Smith at number 1.
Wow, at number 1.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Wow.
She has a really good voice, and she has connection from what I could tell. So I think she could go pretty far. Kimmy Gabrielle, number 2.
Okay.
Jeff Sam number 3, Michaela number 4, Joven number 5.
We only have one contestant in common in our top fives.
Yep.
Wow, when does that happen?
More often than you'd think.
All right, well, we usually do superlatives at this point of the episode. So anything for today, Eric?
Nope.
All right, well, it's getting scary. Like next week, how many more weeks of shows do we have?
At least one. Probably just one.
The show's done next week. When does
All the
the
pre-tape
calendar?
stuff ends next week.
Yeah. Wow. It's really usually like in past seasons, it would be like these middle rounds would be like 3 weeks. We get like 2 weeks for Hollywood Week, and then a third for like the second group round in Vegas, which was sometimes one of my favorite part of the season. Like I love those parts. But anyway, that's kind of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Eric?
Nope.
Well, I guess I can say I'm Adam Samuel. You can find me on Twitter at AdamSoapbox. You can follow my two websites, AdamSoapbox.com and AdamCVblog.com. If you want to support the channel, like, comment, subscribe. If you made it to this point in the podcast, thumbs up. You are awesome. And where can we find you, Eric?
EricAscher.com, Eric_Ascher on Twitter, and bit.ly/EricLawvids. There won't be any updates to the YouTube channel until at least May now, which kind of sucks, but whatever.
All right, guys. Well,
Stay
to our
safe.
viewers, if you are watching this on behalf of Reality Hour, I want to say stay safe. Call
Wash your
people.
hands.
Don't be if you have to be locked in your house, reach out to other people because there are other people who are also like just. It's good to kind of don't become like a hermit crab. Is all I'm saying. Like the world might be like going to shit, but we still have the internet, and the internet. This is what the internet was made for.
Yeah, basically.
And yeah, so go do that. Call your friends, talk to them. Go for walks also. We'll see you next week. Bye.